I see myself as a writer now. And that's what I want for my children. I want them to see themselves as writers. So if I really want to achieve that, then I have to see it myself as one.
I think that they have definitely given the participants opportunity for personal growth and growth of confidence as well as skill. Well, I suppose confidence because your skills are increasing. Madonna really clarified for me the idea of creativity in writing, and that often as teachers we pigeonhole creativity in writing as creative writing. So we don't really think about it in terms of the other genres or the other modes of response that we expect children to bring to us in a classroom setting.
The limitations sometimes that you put on your students. I think sometimes you forget that you give them a time frame and sometimes you want to keep writing, and the same thing kind of happened to us. And even not dulling their creativity by using grammar and not worrying about those other things as long as they sort of get their creativeness out. So I think that was interesting to learn, and not following such a structure as well. I think we as teachers tend to fall into that, this is how it needs to be written, paragraph by paragraph, and you sort of teach it that way and you forget about those fun elements of it.
Got the kids to do the 2-voice poem, and I did it in groups, and then I videoed my children doing it, and one particular group did an amazing job.
Just getting to know like-minded writers, a bit of camaraderie there, being more open and knowing that you have a voice. Might be a lost voice, but you finally found it again because you're allowed to showcase what you have.
Initially, I didn't like the stream of consciousness because I was like, what do I write about? And I didn't have a context. But then after I gave it a go and started doing it, I was like, I can see how this could work, and not having to worry about all the grammar and punctuation as well. So that's originally, I ended up doing a stream of consciousness for my piece. So it was the hardest one for me without a context, but then sometimes I think we do that to the students as well. We tell them, okay, just write, and they're like, what about? So it's interesting to take a step back and put yourself in your kids' shoes, I guess.
She said that the first time that we had to write, I went, what, now? We have to write something now? And I was, oh, that's a bit hard. You know? So, but once I started writing, it just seemed to flow.
No, it was all online. I don't work on Mondays, so it was great. I could just do it from my desk at home. And because you could only see me waist up, it was fabulous. and you didn't even need to see my hair on those days, so I could turn that video off, and I loved it. Very convenient.
They both have their benefits, I think. I think when you came into campus, you could get that more interactive kind of feel to it, and actually meet people and hear their own poetry rather than it being over a microphone. The online was good because we didn't have to travel, and Mondays are very busy for us at our school, so it was good to be able to get a few things done and then do the online courses after we'd finished all our work.
I much prefer on campus, face-to-face, where you can engage with people and talk. That connection is what helps you to grow.
Face-to-face, you get to interact with whoever's around you. You form a nice friendship group, and then you form a kind of a trust, and then you feel free to interact and just write right from the heart.
It's definitely going to be easier teaching the children when it's their turn to write. Instead of just saying, right, here's something, put it up, write, I can give them some background, you know, maybe look at a book and show them the different language and the nonsense words and that sort of thing. Give them some more stimuli to utilise. And rather than just say, look, write this, or choose something to write about. That's so bad. When I look back now, I think, ooh, it's not the best. A stimuli is okay, but sometimes you just say, oh, look, guys, write about the weekend, or write about, you know, something that you did, or I often go into Pobble and put up something, but I'm not sure that's very valuable anymore.
Just continue to grow as a person, just continue to write and inspire hopefully, my students, my grade sixes here. And they all love writing because we say it's free. You have a voice, you just write. I don't put a stop to it. Whatever you like to write, write. And you don't worry about grammar, you just write if you feel like it. Your stream of consciousness.
I think it will take a very thoughtful approach as to how that will happen. But yes, I think it will. I think all of our experiences, if we think about them, do translate into hopefully better practice in the classroom.
I hope it shifts it. I can already start to see a little bit of a shift. I think the way that I teach things has changed. So I think it'll shift the kids as well.
Yes, well, just to be able to incorporate new ways of doing it. Like, I have a student who is definitely going to be a journalist or some writer. He is amazing, and I've sort of shared some things with just him and told him, like, one-on-one what we've been doing, and he just goes to town and writes. He's probably written this year, he's probably written 50 stories, and he's amazing. We only really do it twice a week, but he just writes. Instead of reading, he's asked me, "Miss, can I write?" And I go, "Sure, go for it." And then I always make sure I read them and be able to give him feedback on what he's done. And there's rarely much I need to do, but a few little things that I can give him feedback on.
The fact that we got the PowerPoints gives me some time to go back and reflect on that and look at ways I can include it next year. And I'm lucky that Heather, who did the project with me, her and I are both on the same year level next year, so we can sit and plan some ways to incorporate some of the things we've learned.
Like I was sharing out there, I said that every time after every workshop, I can't wait to go back and use my students as guinea pigs. So this whole week, my year six has been writing the True Voice poem, and some of them being published on the latest newsletter that's coming up from the school.
I'm feeling fairly confident about the pieces. I had some really positive and constructive feedback.
I feel good. I feel like I've accomplished something. Got back into writing again. I'm happy it's over. I was really nervous.
I really enjoyed giving it because I read it to my daughter yesterday, and she said, "Mama, I'm amazed. I'm seeing you in a different light." I think they were very, like the third one that I read, the New Zealand versus Brisbane, that's a very personal thing. That's my whole life. I've spent half my life in New Zealand and half my life here, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed writing it, and I enjoyed improving it.
It was actually really a good feeling to actually stand up there and present to an audience and just to engage with them, but also just sharing and hearing everyone else's pieces. Each of them I had a connection to, and I was hoping that other people would have a connection with those as well. He read The Predator, which was just that tiny moment in time. And then he read my final piece, which was the 2 Steps Forward. It was interesting because when I spoke to him after, he said that because he didn't have the little blurb beforehand, he just had the poem cold. And he said he interpreted it differently. And I said, well, that's fine, because that's what it's all about. It's about connecting with people and how people interpret a piece, because I mean, if you publish something, you're not there to explain it to anyone.